Hi there, who's with me? Somebody's in the house, I can see. Okay, I've got 2 in the house so far. I've been trying to set up my PC for live streaming. I'm currently coming at you from my iPhone because that's my fallback for iPhone. So if you see me looking over in that direction, it's looking to see your responses, because of where I got my iPhone set up with the power adapter and everything. Sorry about the confusion. Who's all with us? I think what I'll do is I'll prop this up on something like that, on that height. Get a couple of boxes. Give me a second. I'm just going to grab a couple of boxes. I think that should do it. Let's prop it up on a box. How's that? No, that's a bit tall, isn't it? That is a bit tall. Oh, there you go. That's it. Can you hear me? Am I getting through on sound? I'll probably move that over a bit. I'm going to turn that off. Two watchers in the house. I think I had people on board, but they've all jumped ship because I crashed out of the last one. Don't be shy, you can say something, type something in. Let's have a look. Hi Colin. Hi Sleeping Beauty. How you doing? Good to see you again. I only saw Sleeping Beauty yesterday on my live stream. On my first test. I'm struggling way too much with the desktop version, and the latency is just too slow. So with iPhone I can do it just as we see here, and I've just got my iPhone propped up on a cardboard box. But it's a nice slim tall cardboard box, and it doesn't clutter up much of my desk, so I can do other things around it while I'm talking to you. I'll just show you my setup, my desk. How do I do that? There's got to be a way. I can do it this way. Look, flip that around, and I presume you can still hear me. So that was my setup on my desk. That's one of my monitors. That's my smaller monitor, and you see my snowball mic here, and you see me seeing you and the chat all up here. So that's how that's set up. So I'm actually routing my own iPhone and picking it up. There we go, we're back. And picking it up on my PC. I thought of doing it with my iPad, which will probably be a bit easier for me to set up, but I haven't quite done that yet. Right, I'm just going to read this. It's really laggy from on the desktop, but I'm not using a Windows system, and a lot of the stuff out there is geared towards Windows. I work in the IT industry, and because I have to put up with Microsoft in my working life, I don't deal with it at all at home. And I take pride in free computing and doing everything on my home computer. But I do that with Linux, which is a free and open source software, and all the software for it is free. So everything you see me do on in terms of the OS is it's Ubuntu Linux. I've tried several different flavors of Linux, but I find the one that's supported the best and the one that serves my needs the best, it just happens to be the most popular flavor, and that's Ubuntu. Yeah, well, I can certainly give you help with that. If you're getting started with websites, there's loads of help there anyway, you know, out there on internet land, Colin. And from my point of view, I build my websites, and I've built quite a few. I build them all. I started building them doing my own coding right from the beginning, but now I use a CMS. The two I've used are Joomla, but the one I've stuck with and the one that all my current websites run off is WordPress, which I find very useful. And you know, it's a fairly short learning curve to get all that inside your head and get producing fairly good or very good websites quite quickly and easily. But to me, I think some things seem easy because I've been in the industry a long time, you know. Yeah, Neha, I like WordPress. Hi, Neha. Yes, it is, but it's not so much an investment in cash. It's an investment in time. You've got to invest your time in it, and if you're going to learn WordPress, you know, you're going to be pretty absorbed in it for a couple of weeks, and you'll probably want some other peripheral skills like the graphic design stuff. So it might be an idea to learn GIMP, which is free. Yeah, Sleeping Beauty, you can be terrible with computers, but you'll be good in the kitchen, I bet. Well, WordPress was originally designed for blogging, but you've got two sort of levels in it where you've got pages. I need to quickly look at mine just so I know what I'm doing. Let me go to one of my recent ones. Oh, I can't because I need this phone to sign in. I won't do that because I need my phone to sign in, because I got two-stage authentication on it, and I need my phone, so I won't. But you can either run it as a blog where you've got a continuous feed of blogging coming in from outside sources or from various different authors if you want, or from, you know, generating traffic to your blog to get people to write to it and write for it. And you've got the other one where you have static web pages and you just build it like a website. You can have a mix of both, but I tend to go for one or the other. But everything I've got up at the moment, and there's a couple of websites. I built one for my friend who's in the removals business, and I built one of mine on a remedy for penalty charge notices for you know, parking and litter bandits, those sort of people. So if you want to look at that, it's boevat, boevat.org.uk. Have a look at that. That's all my work. Mine and my brother's the brains behind it, and I'm the one that builds the websites and does the writing. I'll type that in here for you. I tend to keep it fairly straightforward though, you know. And I don't use fancy graphics. Don't use a lot of fancy stuff with it. It's yeah, GIMP, Blender, Audacity. Blender's a really steep learning curve. Very difficult to learn. So Sleeping Beauty, tell us what do you do? What's your thing? Hi Alicia. Nice to see you again. Thanks for coming in. Yeah. Well, what you can do, Colin, is we can get in touch through Skype or something, and then I can share screens with you and help you with stuff if you want. Happy to do that, mate. Because we all learn off each other in this business, don't we? Yeah. I found Blender very difficult. I think on about 3 occasions now I've given it slightly longer on the learning, and then longer, and then I'm actually set up now with a dual screen computer, so it's a lot easier to learn from video. You got the video, the tuition video going on one, and the actual work going on your larger screen or on the other screen. Neha, I've thought of a recipe to do with eggs for you, and I might just put that together tomorrow. It's another Chinese recipe, but I think you'll like it. I think you'll like it. It really works, and it's one of my favourite egg recipes. There's another great Indian recipe with eggs and bitter melon. Have you ever had that one? That's bitter melon and eggs. It's really good for diabetics too, and I'm a diabetic, so I kind of like things that are good for diabetics. Yeah, it's just a bit of one-on-one tuition can sometimes be very useful. I mean, even if I don't have the full extent of the knowledge you need, I probably know where to find it, or probably know to look, or you know, we can muddle through it. Is your Colin? Is your oh, hi, Living Soul Journey. Hi, Living Soul Journey. How you doing? Thanks for coming in. Is your email on your information, Colin? If it is, I'll send you a link, and then we can get chatting and through email, and then work it out that way. All right, mate. Carl, is that the Trini name for it? Sleeping Beauty, Carilli. I wish I knew how to say that. What's it called? It's called Yeah, it's got a similar name. Let me find it. Bitter melon. Bitter gourd, it's sometimes called as well. Let's see what all the different names are for it. In Latin America, they call it chayote. No, chayote is that grows in Trinidad as well, doesn't it? Yeah, I've seen that. That's not the same thing, but it's very similar. There's an Indian one that's very wrinkly and very dark green, and then there's the Chinese one which looks more like a cucumber. It's slightly more smooth, isn't it? And bigger generally. But I've used both. In Hong Kong they sell both types. But a good way of treating that is to cut it up and de-seed it, of course. Take the pith out the middle of it, and then salt it, and that gets rid of the bitter juices. And then you rinse it out. But you want some of the bitterness, because I actually like the bitterness. I enjoy that flavour. I don't know about you guys, but I do. Yeah, Carilli. All right. Carilli. Or is it Carilli? Yeah, that. All right, Colin. I'll put mine. I'll put mine. Oh, you can reach mine through my about. Is it on my YouTube About Me page? I think it is. Yeah, Christophine, that's the one. Thanks, Alicia. Christophine, that was it. I was shown it growing up. There was a plantation up near the. Where was I on day 5? It was near the nature centre where the hummingbirds are. What's the name of that? And thanks, Colin. And I really do like Christophine. It's great. It's a lovely stir frying vegetable. It's really good. And I do like Carilli. Asa Wright, that was it. Sleeping Beauty, thank you. The Asa Wright Centre. I don't know if you've seen that video, Colin, but it was my Trinidad tour, the Taste of Trini tour last year, 2017. I did in and around August last year, and I think that was the day 5, perhaps the day 6 video. I can't remember for sure. We went to the Asa Wright Nature Centre. That was a hell of a place. That was great. And the whole trip was mind-blowingly good, but that's grand. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Sleeping Beauty. Yeah. I know I did. It was amazing, utterly amazing. Yeah, do, Colin. It's the whole series. It's they didn't give me a chance to get landed. They took me straight from the airport. They stuck a doubles in my hand, and doubles is like the Trini street food, the signature Trinidad street food, and it's made of chana chickpeas and two little like puri breads, fried puri breads. They call doubles. They call chana. Sorry, bara. So you got two bara, which is what makes it a doubles, and with the chickpea, spicy chickpeas, and loads of like chutneys and spicy toppings on it, and it really is very satisfying comfort food. Yeah, doubles is special. Ask any Trini, they'll tell you. In fact, you ask anyone in the Caribbean about doubles and they say Trinidad. Yeah, or if you say Trinidad, they'll say doubles. Yeah, yeah. They treated me like family, that's for sure. As soon as I hit my feet hit the ground, it was like I got straight out the airport. I got met by a posse of Tasted Trini's family, and then they oh, that's great. And they stuck a doubles in my hand, doubles. I had two doubles in a bag, and I was eating them on the way to the river lime at Cora, and that was like a giant party. A river lime. A lime is the Trini word for like a gathering or just getting together, and something like a party. But you can be liming by just hanging around with 2 or 3 people. That's liming, at least as I understand it. Yeah. Yeah, I saw chicken doubles in Richmond Hill in Queens in New York, near where Rishmi lives, and I was surprised to see that because I didn't see chicken doubles in Trinidad, but I thought, well, it could be just an American thing, you know, Americana, because it's the sort of thing the Brits would do, you know. They'd take something original and then slap cheese or something on it. Yeah. Chicken doubles. Oh no, I'd like to try it though. I like the sound of it actually. I'm not quite sure what you'd put in it. What's it? Yeah, the doubles are just awesome. It's one of those. It's one of those snacks that totally belies the simplicity of its ingredients. You know, there's a few things in the world that are like that, and you know, like that Italian pasta that's just stirred with garlic butter, and it's just awesome, isn't it? It's so simple yet it's amazing. That's what doubles is like. Right, anybody got any questions? Anybody got any questions? Oh, you can see my messy room in the background. Well, I'm not hiding it. I'm warts and all me, you know. Yeah, I like it, Sleeping Beauty, the same way you do. I like it with I'm a bit of a pepper mouth, so I like it with a large quantity of hot pepper on it. I do like that. Very fond of the hot pepper. These are glary, these glasses. I'm going to put my other ones on. So if I don't, I won't be able to see you. But oh, they're still as glary, aren't they? They're just not as big, so they won't dazzle you as bad. I have to keep touching the screen because it starts to occult on my laptop after a couple of minutes. How long we've been on at the moment? Can't tell. 25 minutes already. Time does fly when you're having fun, eh? Yeah, I like it just with chana. Well, I like it with chana and the toppings. Yeah, totally treated like family. It was amazing. They put me in a flat that had been vacated by someone, and they just put me in that for a week. It was awesome. I had my own little self-contained flat. Brilliant, like a little apartment. Really smashing. Ensuite facilities. So I'm going there for longer this time. I'll be there. I'll be in country about 10 days, with a day each side for travel. I'm going direct from Gatwick this time. I think it stops in St. Lucia for just to refuel. That's it. But rather than the other way, because the time before it was a bit of a trek. Colin, I was in the British Army for a total of 17 years. The places I've lived, well, I lived in Germany, of course. I was in Gütersloh in Germany, which is in Nordrhein-Westfalen, in Westphalia. And I also lived in Münster. So I lived in Germany for a total of around about 5.5 to 6 years, something like that. You know, long enough to pick up the language. And I also, well, I don't speak absolutely fluent German, but I could certainly Germans tell me I speak good German, but I think they're being polite. I've lived in Hong Kong. I was stationed there for 2 years, from 82 to 84. That's when Hong Kong was still a British protectorate at the time. Oh, chicken that you've added to doubles. I see. Yeah. Oh well, chicken on the side. You mean? Yeah, could do that. I can't eat chicken now without hot pepper. I've got a problem. I've got a serious problem. I think I'm turning Trini. I'm turning Trini. Did I tell you guys? I told the Taste of Trini family this one, and it was where I was planning to go. This is while I was planning to go last summer to Trinidad for that trip, and I saw a website, and on the website it said, "Oh, how to speak Trini." So I clicked on it real fast because I wanted to learn how to speak Trini. And I opened it up, and the page says, "Forget it, you'll never speak Trini." So I think I think you have to kind of live there all your life to speak Trini. Like I'm sure everyone's polite around me, but when they speak it among themselves, like when Batman and the boys were up and around and chatting to each other, boy, you can't keep up with that. And the Trini dialect's kind of thick, you know, and lots of the Trinis use a lot of colloquialisms, as well as the Caribbean patois. There's also the colloquialisms specific to Trinidad, so they'll say like two things to each other. And the only way I know it's a question is the way it inflects at the end of the sentence. Yeah, it is, but it's a colloquial English slang, but it's not one that you'd have to spend a bit of time in country before you got used to it. I grew up in for some of my youth, I grew up in Nottingham, which had a very large Jamaican community, and a lot of my friends and schoolmates were Jamaican or from Jamaican families. I mean, they all talk like me, but but among the families, you know, they spoke in the patois, so or a sort of diluted version of it. I'm sure Trinis must meet children of Trinis that moved to the UK, so the kids have grown up with these British accents, but they'll still speak Trini dialect to some extent with each other, the same as the Jamaicans did in England, even the ones that were born in England, you know. And of course now we've got those kids I was playing with, they're now grandparents like me, so you know, there's you're into fourth generation now, and probably more. Yeah. So in some cases they probably won't like to admit it, but they're probably more British than Jamaican, because it's kind of what you are, isn't it? You know, you become part of where you grew up, and that's always in you. It doesn't matter where you go in the world, that's always with you, and the values that you learned as a child will stay with you. So that's very important, I think. Very important. Yeah. Any questions? Any recipe ideas? Anything you'd like to see me try? I find it very difficult to get Trini ingredients here. I've got bandania growing downstairs, but it's been growing for like weeks. Hi Irish me, how you doing? All good? I've got a little bandania, a little, as Bob Marley would have called it, a little herb stalk. I got it growing downstairs under a lamp. I'm sure the police would be interested in it until they found out it was actually an innocuous herb. But there you go. I've got two little tiny ones, and I don't know what it is about bandania, but I think these little black fly we get in Britain, they just love them. They're like little tiny aphids, and they suck on the plant. So unless I attack it with washing up liquid and water and just spray it on it, and then they die, and then I just got to keep on top of it. But I've got one that's about, can you see this? I got one that's about this tall, and the other two are kind of midget ones, but I've got mint growing next to them under the lamp, and the mint is just blocking out the light because mint just grows mad and it doesn't get affected by the black fly either. So it's become growing of bandania has just become a point of pride with me, because I'll never grow enough to even make one batch of green seasoning. So yeah. I've got it under the lamp, Colin. That's why it's growing so well. I've got it under you know, the lamps that we use. If you the lighting in here right now, this is just ordinary room lighting, and it's yellow, so you see this yellow tinge. But I'll show you this. The difference there is the temperature of the light. So there you see, I've just switched on one of the daylight temperature lights, and it makes a big difference to the way that it appears. I don't know if I can turn the other one off, just to give you some idea. I need another one or two, but you see the difference there. Anyway, I'll leave that on. Unfortunately, it's right behind this, so it's dazzling me now. Oh, I am so psyched up about it. Yeah, I've got to. I've got to bring, you know, like the Red Cross parcel with me, so I'm going to pack it with sweets and goodies and, you know, the British sweets that I know you were fond of. I've got to watch my baggage allowance because I'm staying for longer. I'm going to have to take more with me, or do some laundry while I'm there, I think. So I might not go for ceramics or things. So well, if I do, it'll only be a couple. But I've got something that's rather. I've already got it made up. So I won't show you that. It'll have to remain a secret until they're presented. It's just something small and fun and relevant. Oh, she was amazing. Mandy was such a beautiful and generous person, and such an amazing, lovely lady. The whole family just totally blew me away. It was really quite emotional. It's a little bit emotional when I think about it now, because it's waving goodbye at the airport was, I don't have to tell you, it was difficult. There was a big lump in my throat as I was moving away, and a tear in my eye, because I was just shown such a fabulous time in such a short space of time. Just so much fun. Yeah. Yeah, they are Sleeping Beauty. They're lovely people. They're proper people as well. The real deal. Yeah. Yeah, and she's good with it. She's such a good interviewer as well. She sounds like she's been like a trained professional interviewer, you know, like the ones on telly do. She's got a good voice, hasn't she, Mandy? A really good voice, I think. Oh, hi, Anne Reid. Hi, Anne. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. I can get used to this. Yeah. Yeah, what was it? The festival one. She's done a couple of festivals. What's the most recent one that she did? Was it a Festival of Light or something like that? Festival. Oh, here you are. I've got a special tab for Taste of Trini's channel. Let's have a look. Videos. It was the Fire Festival. Yeah, that was the one. What was the one before that? The Citrus Fest was really good. I like that one. And then before that, she did the Seafood Festival. So that's really good. Yeah. I've got to try those muffins. I still haven't done it. I've never got any cheese in my fridge. If I get cheese in the fridge, Richard eats it all. It doesn't last. Oops. I got to keep tapping my screen so it doesn't go dark. I don't know how to stop that occulting. I need some professional help from Rick me on this. I'm very good, Anne, thanks. Oh dear. Yeah, he does. Richard is he's got the sweet tooth. He's been out to one of his guys' clubs tonight, and he's come back a little what we call elephants drunk. Yeah, he's got a hell of a sweet tooth. The other thing he likes is Guinness. It's Guinness pan. Anything sweet, and cream and all the things that are supposed to kill you. Yeah, me too. Me too, Alicia. There's just so much so much raw talent there, isn't there? Obviously. Yeah. Oh yeah, Mandy was dancing in this one. That girl can move. She's got the Latin moves. Yeah. She looked better than the people on the stage did. It's easy for me to read these over there. Yeah, she was showing them how to dance. Yeah, but didn't Mandy used to do a lot of Latin dancing, didn't she, at one time, I believe? You're all the way from Guyana on vacation. Oh, you're from Guyana. You were born in Guyana, Anne, yeah? Have you seen Matthew's Guyanese Cooking? Has a good channel as well. He does some nice Guyanese recipes. And it's rather interesting for me comparing Rishmi's versions, the Trini versions of them, versus the Matthew's Guyanese versions of them. So I really like that. You know, I really like his channel too. It's a nice comparison. But the best doubles recipe, right? The best doubles recipe on the whole internet is Taste of Trini's. In fact, she's got a couple of doubles recipes on, but I think it was the one. I think it was the one she released the most recently. Is the one? No. It was. Oh, I can't remember, but it's still the best one, without a doubt. Yeah, it's still the best. I got some cold tea. That was from my daughter, and that was us at. We were on holiday in Gran Canaria in the Canary Islands, on that time, 2013. Oh, you live in England, Anne? Oh, super. I live in North Wales. Yeah, it's like England, only we get a lot more weather. Yeah. Forgive me, I'm dry mouth, cotton mouth from talking too much. Yeah. Okay. I haven't really come prepared for all these. I'm not as organised as Taste of Trini is. She's got it all organised and it all flows, and I'm just not that. I'm not that fluid. But I can make it up with anecdotes. What's it now? It's 10 to midnight here in the UK. 10 to midnight. Yeah. Anne, what are you doing up? Sharcy in the house. Sharcy, one of my first supporters of my channel. Yeah, London's a great city. It is. It's still a great city. There's good and bad about every city in Europe, but I think on balance, London's still a great city. There's a lot of good going on there. Other cities in Europe, I really like Antwerp in Belgium. Yeah, really like Antwerp. It's a nice city too. Did you? Of course, Colin. You're in Scotland, aren't you? Are you in Scotland, Colin? You are Scottish, but I just wondered if you lived in Scotland, because I think more Scottish people live outside of Scotland than live in it. Yeah, it's something like 10 million Scots worldwide, and about 5 million of them don't live in Scotland. Yeah. Oh, Aberdeen in the Granite City. Yeah. God, I haven't been to Aberdeen since, would have been 81. 1981 was the last time I was in Aberdeen. Yeah. Yeah. And I remember I've had Skirly better since those days. Skirly, boys and girls, is a Scottish delicacy made from is it fried oatmeal, Colin? I think it is. You have to do it, mate. Do a video on it. Skirly. Well, the one I had, the first time I had it, it nearly put me off for life because it tasted like stir-fried gravel. But I have had it cooked really, really well since, and also in Aberdeen, and that was in the hotel I was in. I can't remember. It was halfway up Union Street, the hotel. The bar was probably the loudest, noisiest place in Aberdeen at the time. But the breakfast there was really good at the time. I think it was a Union Street in Aberdeen. I think it is, isn't it? The main jolly street. Yeah, it's a long time ago. Yeah, I was a young man. I was in an army display team at the time, and we toured all over. I was in it for 2 years, and then after that I went to Hong Kong. So I had rather a good 4 years spell there. Yeah. So I did a lot of things to do with adventure training and sailing and climbing and abseiling, those sort of things. So the first half of my army life was pretty tough, but the second half was a big skive. I just swanned around sailing boats and taking parties into the hills climbing. It was fabulous. Love that. Really good. Yeah. So where do you live, Anne? North, south, east or west or Midlands or what? And can you get hold of Vandaan? Can you get hold of Shadow Benny in where you are? Because I can't get it for love nor money up here. Just can't get it. There's nowhere that sells it. I've even tried getting it mail order, and it doesn't. Nobody's willing to ship it because it doesn't travel. It just turns to mush after a day or two in transit. So yeah. Okay, what sort of time we're on? We're on 49 minutes, so I'll keep it to an hour. So we've got 10 minutes left. All right. And then what I'll try and do is I'll have to work out a time for a regular feature, and I'll do it for a regular feature for an hour. Yeah. Oh, Clapham. So you are in London, yeah. Oh, all right. Okay. Right. So you can get Shadow Benny there. You can get it in London, you see. You can't get it elsewhere. You can get it in Birmingham. I'm told you can get it in Manchester, but I couldn't find it in Liverpool. I went up to the biggest international shop in Liverpool. I did a video of that if you're interested. I think it's L8, L for Lima and 8. It was in the title of that video. And it's like this massive sort of international store there, concentrating on Indian and South Asia and halal butcher, that sort of thing, you know. So it's a really massive store, and that whole area is kind of very sort of very Arabic. A lot of Arabic people there in Oxteth in Liverpool. You don't have Shadow Benny there? Hi, Nandani. Nice to see you again. Thanks for joining us. All the gang's here. Well, not all the gang, but there's a couple of AWOL, but Yeah. So it's good. I like these things. You get to meet people, don't you? You get to respond. I like the interaction and to be able to respond and not have to type. It's about 2 minutes. I've got 2 minutes to midnight, so I'll be another about 8.5 minutes online, I would think. Yeah, it's all right. I'm not working tomorrow. I've got the next. I'm off till next Tuesday now, so yeah. I was only working till 1 p.m. today. I had to go in and work till 1 p.m. because I was using up my annual leave for this whole year, which ends at the end of this month, of course. So I had to use it up, use it or lose it. Yeah. That's why I'm up so late. What ways do I cook liver? Yeah, I trust then you've had some classical training because you as a chef. The terrines and those sort of things are pretty much what I would do with pig's liver. But if the liver I prefer to use is lamb's liver, and nowadays you can, if you don't get it from a butcher, you get it really nicely trimmed nowadays. Oh yeah, does he? Oh, I bet he does. But I really like to use lamb's liver. I dust it with seasoned flour, and then I will stir fry it like I do, wok up a storm by stir frying it. And I like lamb's liver where it's still slightly pink in the middle. Lamb's liver is really good right up to the point where it gets dry, and after that it's awful. All liver is. I don't like it after it's dry. I like liver to be like cooked. I mean pork liver, you tend to use it in terrines or really cook it through. And the texture of pork liver is a little different, but lamb's liver is beautiful right up to the point where it becomes solid, and then it becomes like, it's like eating car tires. Yeah, Colin will know what I mean. And the way that it was cooked in our family was, again, they had the large pieces of liver usually that they and it would be ox liver or lamb's liver again, and they would dust it in flour, in seasoned flour, and then pan fry it, and then normally serve it with a ton of fried onions, liver and onions. And another one was a liver and bacon casserole, but I never liked the casserole because I didn't like the liver overcooked. So I always cook it so that it's a bit like a medium well steak. It's ever so slightly pink in the middle, and it's really, really juicy and delicious. Lamb's liver cooked right is fabulous. Love it. Give it a try, Colin, and do a video on it and see what you do. A bit of experimenting and see what I mean about that, because don't cook it all the way through, really, seriously. Yeah, ox liver's good, stronger flavour. But lamb's liver, the flavours that go with lamb are good with lamb's liver. So mint and particularly rosemary is really good. So you could make up a lamb bone stock with some rosemary in it, and then use that stock to make the gravy with, and then I reckon you'll be on a winner there, mate. Other things that are good with it are, I believe, red currants are rather good with lamb's liver as well, and venison liver. Yeah, but I've never tried it with red currants. But I can see where they're going with that. I can see where it'd be good. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so liver. Any other questions? Anybody got any before we go? Yeah, I get like that. I get a thought in my head and then, oh, geez, I can't get to sleep because I'm thinking about all the different ways I'll do it. And I'm the same with videos. My dinner tonight, oh, it was boring. I had German fricadillas that are bought from Aldi's, which are like little cold hamburgers, patties. No, they're not. What's a fricadilla like? It's like the filling of a pork pie, in a way. I had that with some mustard and then some coleslaw. I was just using up stuff that I needed to use because my brother was out and about and I couldn't be bothered cooking. Sometimes it can't be bothered. Just now and again. Nothing fancy really. It's just snack food. Yeah, snack food. I didn't make my own coleslaw either, so my bad, that one. Baggy and 8 on the spinach ciabatta. Oh, look at you! All the best stuff, Sleeping Beauty. Hot sada roti. You got to learn what all these things are, Colin, mate. Sada roti is the principal staple table bread of Trinidad, and everybody eats it, and it's really nice with their chokers like tomato choker or aubergine chokers. Or hi Tamara, nice to have you on board. All these people keep turning up when they're ganging up on me just when I was about to stop, and I've got to extend it when new people come in. I'm going to extend it a few minutes. Yeah, Colin, if you do nothing else, do the doubles. Do it. Do the one on Taste of Trini site. Any of them. I think Rishmi did about. How many did you do? Two, at least 2 doubles videos, perhaps 3. I'm sure I recall her doing 3, or whether one of them might have just been. A mixed match of the other ones. I don't know. Yeah, and yeah, do it and then let us know, Colin. So you could call that your Taste of Trini challenge now, mate. There you go. That's another video idea. It isn't terribly hard to do. The more difficult thing for me was getting the bread right. Oh, incidentally, by the way, Trini's there listening. Do you know the Welsh word for bread is bara? It's even spelt the same way, B-A-R-A, bara. In fact, there's a famous Welsh fruit loaf, and it's made with dry fruit and bread, and it's normally served with butter and a cream tea. So if you have a cream tea in Wales, you'll nearly always get bara brith, and bara is a type of bread, and it's no shock because bara has entered the Trinidad language through the Indian heritage, and Welsh is an ancient Indo-European language, so it all kind of fits together, doesn't it? Something as straightforward as the word for bread. Yeah, so it's bara. There you go. Bara's bread in Welsh. Yeah, I haven't done any specific Welsh recipes yet. I need to do Welsh cakes because they're really simple. Bye, Nandani. Have a blessed night. Yeah. Welsh cakes are really simple to do. They are so simple. Even I can do them, and I hate baking. Oh yeah, well, Welsh is. As a boy, I lived for 4 years in Wales, and then I went back to live in Nottingham. And my music teacher told me I had a music education of someone at least 2 years older in England, because I knew a lot more about music. So Wales is often called the land of song, and every year I don't know if you've seen my videos of Llangollen, the Llanbike Fest. There was a video of Llangollen in that. Well, where the Llanbike Fest was held is where the International Musical Eisteddfod is, and that's of course well known all over the world, and it's in the beautiful Dee Valley there in Llangollen. Wonderful place, wonderful place. Yeah. Have you got that, Colin? You can email Rishmi on that email there. Good night, Alicia. Thanks for coming. Really appreciate you coming. This is all about you guys. This is all about you. It's not about me. It's about you, and about how you can learn stuff for you and your family, and you know, maybe pick up a few little tips and kitchen magic at the same time. And we all learn off each other. I'm constantly learning in this business. I learn off Colin, I learn off Rishmi, I learn off all my favourite YouTubers. Yeah. Yeah. All good stuff. So, I really ought to put have something. That's a really good email to have, isn't it? Have a separate email for your. I think I might do that. That's a very good thing to do. I think I'll put it in my my description. I'll make an email up. That's great. See, I just learned something else. It's not just great cooking we learn all sorts of skills. Okay, Colin, you were asked, did I mention to you about TubeBuddy? I think I did, just before I go. I'm pretty sure I mentioned to you, Colin, about it. But I'm finding it a really useful tool, and it's improving my. I think it's improving my hit rate. It's certainly having an effect on it, and you see the speed at which my subs are climbing at the moment. I can't believe it. And I was stuck on 12 subs for what seemed like months, and then all of a sudden it got slightly better up to about 100, and then I did the Taste of Trini tour, and I never looked back since then, because all the Trini crew came on board, and it's been fabulous ever since. Really great. I'm really enjoying it. So I'm having lots of fun. Okay, I think it's getting near the time where I'm going to have to bid you all good night and thank you. And it's very important to use the word you in the first 6 seconds of all your videos. It's very important. And if you can use it twice, you, your, that sort of thing, in the first few seconds of your video, apparently your viewership will go up quite rapidly. At least this is what I've learned tonight. All right. Okay, everybody. Oh yeah, thanks, Colin. And that was a major milestone for me. And I kind of set myself a mental target of doing that within 2 years, and I have. So I've done it in a year and a half. So I'm quite pleased with that. Quite pleased. Oh, Mark. Oh, Mark, mate. I was just about to sign off. Look, anybody who needs to go, just go get your beauty sleep. But if you can hang on for a bit longer, I'm going to stay on for Mark. Mark, have you got any questions, bruv? I see I watch all Mark's videos, and I watch them all the way through. And in fact, all my friends' videos, all of you guys in my circle, you know, all my friends, I watch all your videos all the way through. I watch them nose to tail, every single one, and that's a little rule I've set for myself. Some of the ones I'll put it on 1.5 times speed to get through them faster, but I watch it from one end to the next. I promise that. So I do. Bye, Sharcy, and thanks for your support. You've been amazing for a long, long time. Thank you. That's great. What makes it even more amazing is that Sharcy's a vegetarian. So I really should do more vegetarian, more vegetarian meals, I think. And if you're going to eat vegetarian, Indian food is the way to go, because Indian food is like, most people in India are vegetarians, so the cuisine is kind of built around that, and the fabulous snack food as well. Oh, and Trinidad snack food, don't even go there. It's like, for an island of 1 million people or so, it's like incredible. The snack foods are amazing. Yeah. Just knock the speed up to like 1.5 times. 2 times 2 is a bit too much, but 1.5 times. You know, if you've got to get through a lot of reading in one night. You know, if you're on the ascendant like we are, you're going to do that by being a good viewer yourself, and by being a good YouTuber all round. So yeah, that's the way I see it anyway. Yeah. A full English vegetarian breakfast. Yeah, why not? Roasted tomatoes. Yeah. Oh, I had Rishmi's mum. She made this choker for breakfast, and that was really, really good. I ate more sada roti than I should have done for a diabetic, but I did all right there. I didn't need insulin or anything all the time I was there. It's because I was rushing around all over the place all the time. Limit the amount of channels I wanted to sub to, though. No, it's 150 meaning. I think you can't. You're like the guy in the circus juggling all the plates, aren't you? You know, when you get to that, you just got to go and spin each one and get them all going. So yeah, I think though. I think it will naturally condense down to those that are there constantly. You know, you'll always get that in everything. I think the 80-20 rule applies in life just about everywhere. You'll get 80% of your problems from 20% of the people, or you'll get 80% of your support from 20% of the people on your list. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah, it's just the way it is. 80-20 rule. You taught that in management science. Yeah. I have to go along with that, Colin. Yeah, it's difficult to keep it up. Yeah, you find the 80-20 rule. If you look up the 80-20 rule, you'll on YouTube, or maybe even just on Google, you'll find that it seems to be one of those almost rules of civilization. It's like 80-20, the 80-20 rule. Yeah. Any last questions before we chuck in the towel? So did I miss I missed a question from... What food will I not eat? no matter what. Ooh. I can only think of one thing. There's the, I don't know whether it's just an internet meme or it's an actual thing, but it was the monkey's brain thing, where they were supposed to eat a live monkey's brain. I wouldn't do that, because that's apparently it's really viciously cruel, and that's not me. So under no circumstances would I eat or create or cause a creature to suffer just for my pleasure. That's inhuman, and it's not what an animal would do, because an animal wouldn't do that. No, I couldn't do that. No, I totally agree. Anything else? Any other questions quick before we go? Bye, Tamara. Thanks for popping in and seeing us and sharing some time with us. I'm going to try and make this a regular feature. This really tonight was just an extended test run, but I'll try and bring some kind of format to it, a bit more like Taste of Trini does on hers. You know, she's got these little sections in it where there's a bit of I can learn a bit of Trini sayings and those sort of things as well. I'm going to do hi Veshma. Hi Veshma. Veshma's been with me since very close to the start, and one of my first Trini subscribers. Yeah, me too. I'm glad to see you. I thought you was AWOL there for a bit, Veshma, you know. It's very important. I'm going to do a couple of desserts, and I've already got one in the can. So I think that I'm going more down the traditional route to start with on puds. But I have got a fabulous recipe from my friend Emma in Nova Scotia, and I'm going to play with that one. I'm going to do that on Wednesday. I'm going to I might cook that tomorrow, but I'm doing the first dessert Wednesday, and then Emma's dessert I'm going to show on Sunday. So I release my videos on Wednesday and Sunday, and occasionally I'll throw in one or two crazy Ivans along the way. You know, I'll throw in a visit or a breakfast at the Whistle Stop Cafe type thing video, or something on the trike. So Jira pork and Veshma, that's one of my favourites. Jira pork. Oh, I had Jira pork off a stall at Queen's Park, Savannah, and I think that was my last night. Yeah, it was my last night in Trinidad, and even with a lump in your throat, it's really good to eat. Yeah, and I also had pig feet souse as well, pigfoot souse. Yeah, a lot of these dishes would be anathema to a lot of British people, because they'd never eaten stuff. Jira's cumin is the Indian word for, it's the Hindi word for cumin, Colin. Jira's, it's the Trini word for it. They use the Indian word for it mostly. Yeah. Oh yeah, please do. Yeah, I couldn't turn my nose up at that. I've tried to make Rishmi's version of it, and it turned out really good. I would never have put Jira and pork in the same thing before I learned the Trinidad dish, but it really works. It's fabulous. Yeah, there's some dishes that are a strange one that you've probably never heard of is I don't think you get rhubarb in Trinidad. Did you get rhubarb? I don't know if you get it, but you can certainly get it in New York. Rhubarb works well with almost industrial amounts of cloves. So you get clove powder, so about 12 or 13 cloves, and in your coffee grinder, grind it real up and put that with rhubarb. Seriously, it's you wouldn't believe how good it is. And you wouldn't think they'd go together, but they do. There you go, Colin. There's another naughty secret for you. The longer you live, the more you learn, and I hope I never stop learning till the day I shuffle off this mortal coil. Yeah. You would, because clove is such a strong flavour, you think it's going to be all over and invading your mouth, but it works with rhubarb, and I don't know why, but the first time I saw it suggested, I thought, nah, that can't work, but it does. It really works. Yeah. Right, I'm going to call it a night now, my dear friends. I've been going almost an hour and 20 minutes. Oh, Mandy's here. Mandy, we were just saying that every time I say good night, someone new and exciting pops online. Good night, Vishma. Good night. Thanks for being an absolute darling and being a great friend. Thank you. Mandy, I saw you dancing, eh? You were showing them how to do it, that Latin thing. That was pretty good. That was very impressive. All right, thanks, Colin. Thanks for turning up, mate, and make sure you get yourself to bed now. You need your beauty sleep for tomorrow, fella. All right, thanks for coming along, bro. Cheers. Right, where are we? Okay, so how's things, Mandy? How you doing? Dancing? Yeah. I learned that you were into the Latin dancing. Faulty Towers, or last the Faulty Towers every time, mate. I learned that you were into the Latin dancing, and I think you told me that you didn't go anymore. Something like that. Yeah. Since you've been married, you didn't go since you've been married. Doggos. Ah, okay. The doggos. Are they the dogs that want to eat me? Every time I go there, they want to eat me. Oops, hang on. Yeah, you're a really good dancer, Mandy. You had that Latin stuff going right off there. That was amazing. Many years ago, I used to go in Leicester Square, and there was a place called Bar Rumba in Leicester Square, and every Tuesday they used to have the salsa party, they called it, and it was great. The instructors were pretty famous Colombian instructors resident in London. And I remember there's this one old dude who used to get up. He'd be a guy of about 60, 50, late 50s, heading up to 60. Wiry Mr. Bojangles type character. And he would get up and dance two girls at once. And the young girls, you could see they really wanted to dance with this dude because he made them look good and they made him look good. And God, that place was hot on a Tuesday night. That was amazing. I didn't live there long enough to really get into it in a big way, but it was such a fabulous party that was. Yeah, salsa party. Magic. And it's like you walk out into the street and you'd be going, what? You couldn't hear a thing after that because the music was so loud in that bar. Great. Yeah, Last of the Summer Wine was good. I don't know if any of you Trinis ever saw Last of the Summer Wine. It was about 3 mischievous old guys in somewhere in Yorkshire, and they'd go all around the dells getting into these adventures, like almost like old age adolescents, you know, travelling around. It was quaint and charming, and the scenery was beautiful in rural Yorkshire. Yeah, because soca's the soca music genre is from Trinidad, isn't it? I believe soca, is it? Yeah, I think soca's from Trinidad. Fawlty Towers, there were only ever 12 episodes of Fawlty Towers. And the greatest thing of Fawlty Towers is well, all the principals were brilliant. All of them were amazing. John Cleese and Prunella Scales, great, fabulous timing. Fabulous comic timing. Yeah, amazing. Andrew Sachs, who played Manuel, brilliant. The whole thing was just awesome. Why is it cheese on toast called Welsh rarebit? Well, it's cheese mixed with beer, brown ale, I believe, and some other things. I haven't cooked Welsh rarebit for so long. In the army, they just used to mix cheese with leftover potatoes and slap that on a piece of toast and call that Welsh rarebit. Well, not true. No, brown ale I think it's mixed with. And I've no idea why it's called a rare bit. It's not rabbit, it's rare bit. I'll spell that. Rare bit. Welsh rare bit. Yeah. And I've no idea. I think it had something to do with it's the only way you can make a Philly cheese eatable. No, I'm being cruel. No, I can't think. I'll look it up. I'll find out for you. It's going to be somewhere on the internet, isn't it? Somewhere. Yeah. Soca is from Trinidad, and soca's really great high energy music. I love it, and it's got those Latin licks in it as well. It's really super. I love it. I do like it. I can't keep up with it, but I love it. Yeah. Yeah, it's the sort of, if you have a big party on the beach, that's the sort of music you want going, isn't it? And dancing barefoot in the sand. Yeah, that's that. That's what that's all about. Yeah. Right. I think it's time to bring this to an end. Oh, I really haven't cooked Welsh rarebit in years. I seem to remember mixing beer in with it, and I don't particularly like it. It's probably why I don't cook it. I don't particularly cook it myself, and I don't really like it. I prefer cheese on toast. I like, you know, grilled cheese like everyone else does, but I think I think it was probably from the Second World War, where they were doing rationing and trying to eke things out, and they would only get like a little tiny piece of cheese for the whole family for a week and stuff like that, so they had to make it last, and then they'd mix it with something some potatoes out their backyard and some beer because beer production never stopped in Britain during the war. There you go. Yeah. I plan to do it once a week, but we'll try and limit it to 1 hour. I've got a bit carried away with it here. It's because people didn't know this was going to happen, so they've all been like dropping in as and when you know they've seen notice pop up. I don't have an area to grow my own vegetables. I really don't, and I really wish I did. However, there is, I don't know if you have this in Trinidad, but there's a tradition of what we call honesty boxes in some areas of Britain, and it's where people who grow excess vegetables of their own on their own plots or on their own allotments, and they will sell that out of their backyard for pennies in the pound type thing. And when I lived in East Anglia, I used to go around all the honesty boxes, because I was living on like the total breadline there, you know, and I wasn't earning anything. I was out of IT for about a year, and I was running this bed and breakfast, and it didn't make any money. It was a lovely B&B, but it just didn't make any. Made money for the owner, but not for me, if you know the deal. And that's why I don't do it anymore. I used to go around all the honesty boxes, and I used to get these gigantic zucchinis, you know, like great big things, about the size of a marrow. These courgettes, and cook with those, and I used to eat this fabulous food for pennies, and it was all grown, you know, organically in the guy's backyard, and it had been grown with love, and you know, all the things missing from supermarket vegetables, and some of it had come out in weird shapes because it wasn't grown for commercial, but a good cook doesn't let that bother him, especially when you taste the stuff. It's so much better. Yeah, we get farmers markets in the UK. The honesty box concept is really good. I mean, it's never more than just a little bit of pin money, and it's normally like a little covered box on the boundaries of their property, where you walk past on the street, and you'll lift a jar, coffee jar or something, and you'll put your money in that and have it away with the garlic or whatever you've got, or beetroots or whatever you've picked up, and that's basically, I lived like that for, you know, a good year. I was doing that. They normally only during the growing months, you know, but in Britain, so it's the winter months. There are very few winter veg, and people that grow them tend to keep them. Yeah. It is a great concept, Mandy. It's a wonderful thing, that is. It's a wonderful concept. I think there are some places in the States where it catches on. I was chatting to some friends from Texas, people that I was in the game Second Life with, and I used to do a load of building for them and stuff, but I got chatting with them about the honesty box, and they said they had something similar in their area. So it does exist in the States as well. But it relies on the honesty of people, you know, and it tends to be not in the urban areas. It's more in the rural areas. Because in rural areas, everybody knows everybody else's business. Everybody knows who somebody is, or they know somebody who knows them. So it's I would think it would probably be a good idea for Trinidad, because you know, there's a lot of people in Trinidad who are interconnected. There's a lot of interconnected families, much more so than you get in the UK. People tend to be, I mean, look at me and my kids. My kids live 5 hours away from me. It's a 5-hour drive to get to my kids. It's just the way it is, you know. Yeah. Yeah, I love the farmers markets. I do love the farmers markets, really do. I don't know if Colin's still there. If you're, I think there are a few books on that you can still get. It's worth trolling through Amazon to look for them. Books about war rationing recipes, You could do a whole series on that if you wanted, mate. I mean, that would probably be a good thing for you, seeing as you brought it up. That'd be a good theme you could run on for a while, you know. Because all the things that they would have had, we've got now, you know. So, just doesn't taste as good. They say food tasted great in the 60s and earlier, but it's yeah, I think you'd be good at it. You'd be good at that sort of thing, because you strike me as someone who's diligent enough to get in and do that and really be good at it. Exactly, Colin. It's, you know, it's like, I've even heard Trini people say this, you know, that they really want to hang on to their cuisine and their culture, because it becomes, the more international we become, the more we lose of our own identities. So yeah, it's like in Britain, you know, like 100 years ago, we've gained all this great cuisine from, particularly from the Indian culture, because of curry. You know, curry now is the most popular food in Britain. But to some extent, we have lost some traditional British recipes to that, because there's only so many meals you can eat in a day, right? Yeah, and that's the kind of the way it goes. Yeah, and I think that'd be a good series for you, Colin. I think you'd be really good at that. That's a really interesting discussion. I hope nobody's earwigging this, because they'll nick the idea and go and do it ahead of you. There's a bit of that been going on as well with some of our friends. Yeah. 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 Scottish food is the best thing about Scottish food. Did you see I did one on Cullen skink, and it's my second most popular video of all time, and the steak pie is the most popular, and the Cullen skink I think is the second most popular. But Cullen skink is the best chowder in the world. There's nothing even nearly as good. New England clam chowder is pretty good, but it isn't in the ballpark of Cullen skink, I don't think. Yeah. Scotland's produce is amazing. The best beef in Europe, without a doubt. Raspberries, fantastic raspberries. Garlic, loads of really good garlic grown, and Loch Fyne seafood. Fin and haddy. These are haddocks smoked over, or traditionally they were smoked over whiskey barrels. Fabulous produce in Scotland. Something about all that rain they get, I guess, eh, Colin? They've got a saying in Fort William: if you can see the top of Ben Nevis, it's going to rain, and if you can't, it's raining. Yeah. Don't talk to me about rain. Yeah, don't talk to me about rain. I've been to Rill. Hi, Tom. Tonight and the rest of the week. Oh, blimey. You've got it bad then, mate. I'll tell you. Who have we got left in the chat? I've got 6 people left in the chat. Yeah, you do have rain in Trinidad. I was there in the rainy season, wasn't I? There was quite a bit of rain from one time or another, which was merciful, because it was in between time. It was scorchingly hot for a little pale-skinned white boy like me. I tell you, it was very hot. I'm not used to that heat. But I kind of got used to it. Towards the end of the week, I was not so bad with it. I think it had something to do with if you eat the food, then you don't suffer as bad in the climate where you live. I'm sure there's a connection there. I'm absolutely sure, because I just went completely native. It's not like going to some fancy hotel and eating European food like or American food like you do in these big hotels. I was eating with the Trini family and eating Trini street food, and every meal I had was proper Trini food. It was Trini to the bone. Good stuff. Lovely food. Yeah, I understand that summer this year is going to be on a Thursday. Outside now, it's fierce mild. Yeah, that's Scottish humour, boys and girls. That's very good. Fierce mild. Where you from, Tom? Whereabouts? You from the States, or is it Alaska? No, I never remember. I'm terrible with things. Ohio. I've got another friend in Ohio. Oh right, okay. Yeah, maritime sort of weather that goes a bit nuts. Yeah, sounds a bit like Wales then. Yeah, we'll have sunshine, and then 20 minutes later you can have a complete whiteout with horizontal rain coming at you. Good night, Veshma, and thanks for coming along. Really appreciate your support. Really do. You're a lovely person. It's good to have you around. Really is. Thank you. I don't know where. I just know Ohio, because it's I'm not really good at being in the game these days, but I used to be in Second Life a lot, and I'm a builder and a store owner in Second Life, so I still sell a lot of stuff in Second Life, but stuff I've built. And these are friends from that. I've actually built her a Frank Lloyd Wright house. Yeah. Did they? I don't know if you know the Frank Lloyd Wright house, the waterfall house. I did kind of a copy of that in Second Life, which was rather fun. Oh yeah, Columbus is state capital. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I don't know. I just know she's from Ohio. People on Second Life tend to be. They'll tell you their state. Very few will tell you where they actually live. I think they fear the stalker, because there are some weird people on Second Life as well. You know, people like me. So we've got 5 left. 100 minutes. 100 minutes. So I'm going to wrap this up now, guys. The internet does have weird people. Yeah, I know it's true because I read it on the internet. The internet it's an experiment. It's still in the experimental stage. We're just kind of, all this crazy politics, polarized politics, is a direct result of that new method of communication. And it's selective communication, because you can choose to hear what you want to hear, and people then tend to sit in their own little bubbles and don't hear anything from the opposite side. So you end up with these clashes. these political clashes, which is a bit worrying. The situation in Europe's getting a bit dire, actually. The best prize I've won in a competition, Mark. I won back in the day. I went to a raffle. I've never won anything in a raffle before this day, and I won 2 things. One of them was a VCR recorder back in the days when VCR recorders were the thing to have, and I can't remember what the other thing was, but it was another good thing in the raffle I won. Yeah. I think it was some sort of stereo system. Yeah. The reason I don't remember the other one is because I gave it straight back, because I was on the committee organising that function it was a mess doing the army. And because I was on the committee, I took one prize, the better one of the 2, and gave the other one back and threw it back into the quiz thing, into the draw. See you, Tom, and thanks for coming along, brother. Cheers, mate. It's really good to see you around. Thanks, mate. Good stuff. Mark's keeping this going with his questions. You better be quick with questions, because I'm about to close down, bruv. Michael's come along now. Hi, Mike. All right, Michael. I was just about to close, so I'm going to have to draw a line under it at some point. Michael's been with me for quite a long time now, and bye, Mandy. I've been told to stay up. All right, I'll stay up for another couple of minutes, and then I'm definitely going. Definitely going this time. All right, definitely going. Bye, Mandy. I can't wait to see you in June. Can't wait to be there among you again and have a great time with you all again. That'll be fabulous. Yeah, I know. I need. It's because I got my phone. I can't. All right, Mark. Thanks for coming along, bruv. Excellent. Nice questions as well, Mark. You're good for this live stuff, because you keep it going by giving us questions. Same with Colin, actually. Lots of good questions. Mandy's gone to feed her doggos. She's got 2. Well, she's always got dogs, but I mean, when I was there, she had a couple of dogs that she kept in the yard. But she's a lovely, gentle soul, and she takes food and feeds them. And is that? Hello, Choripan con pebre. Is that how you say it? Choripan con pebre. Hello. Nice to have you on board. Thanks for coming in. Do you want to have a cook-off in Cheltenham? That's a long way from me, mate. Cook-off. That's the real long distance for me. You know I'm 60 years old, don't you? I don't like travelling. It's all right travelling to an airport, onto a plane, and then travelling around, but I don't know. Yeah. Choripan con pebre. I don't know what is that a name, or does it say something? It's Spanish, isn't it? Say something. Habla poquito español. When's it going to be, Michael? When's this cook-off going to be, bruv? Yes. Oh, right. Yeah. Cheltenham. Blimey. Oh, thanks for the subscription. Muchas gracias. Curry Pan Company. Let's have a look. See if Curry Pan's got a channel. Curry Pan. Oh, I like the koala bear. Koala bear logo. That's really nice. I carried a koala bear when I was in Australia. It was a lovely little creature. And they actually smell of eucalyptus because that's all they eat. Yeah. We'll have to talk about the cook-off in Cheltenham. Ping me an email about that, Michael. It's in my. You'll be able to get to my email from my about page on YouTube. So have a look. We can talk about that. I'm not really good at travelling these days though, so it'd have to be on a long weekend or something like that. Se va a hacer o no se va a hacer la carnita asada? How's that sound? Bowlers? What, bowler Land Rovers? You mean them mental I am a driving god bowlers? Oh, bowlers. Carnita asada. Carnitas are really good. Asada means roasted in Spanish, and carnitas are like a meat dish, chopped up meat dish, and they're normally served in a soft tortilla, and they're really, really good. Really good. Carnitas are special. Lawn bowls. Oh, you're into lawn bowls? Yeah, my maternal grandfather was into lawn bowls in a big way. Yeah, he's long dead now, but he was a lawn bowler. Crown Green. All right. Okay. All right. Greenkeeper and cook. That's cool. Yeah, I know you got green fingers. Can you grow bandania in the UK? Can you grow shadow benny? When you send me the email, I'll ask you that question again, and I'll send you the Latin name so you get all the species. I'm growing it on a pot on my windowsill, but it's getting attacked savage by black fly. These little tiny aphids. Yeah. Ciao. Ciao. Ah. Muchas gracias, compadre. All right, I've got the seeds. Yeah, I'll send you some then, bruv. Yeah, all right. We'll rig that up. I know it doesn't travel very well, so it would have to sort of, if you grow it, I will swap it with you for something I make. So something like a chili sauce or brown sauce or reggae sauce, that sort of thing. But I'll do you a swap on that. I'll send you the seeds. You grow it. You send me some of that, and I'll send you some of either what I make with it, my hot pepper sauce if you're into all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so we'll do something like that. We'll work out a deal that way, bro. Yeah, we can get this motor in. Another thing to do a cook-off would be to do a relay cook-off without necessarily having to travel. So we do a challenge, like a challenge each other to do something, or we come up with a challenge and throw it out there for other people in our creative circle to pick up on. Yeah, mate, if you send me peppers and I will send them back in fabulous form in sauce. Trust me, I make good pepper sauce. I make really good pepper sauce. And I'm a connoisseur de fine pepper sauces, so but I do. If you grow them, and I'll turn it into something special. Yeah. Work a deal out around that for sure. I like habaneros. I particularly like habaneros. Trini scorpions are lethal, like reapers. I think the Trini scorpion was the hottest pepper in the world right up until the Carolina Reaper came along. I think it was something like 1.3 million Scovilles, and the Carolina Reaper's like 1.4. I know it's something crazy like that. Whereas a habanero is, or a Scotch bonnet, is 1 million, isn't it? Yeah, the pies. Yeah, all right. Yeah, the pies are good. The pies are good. Yeah. Yeah, it's always worth staying up a bit longer, mate. I'm not working tomorrow though. I've got an excuse. I can just sit around. So we got Michael, and we got Colin. And who's the third? Is it Choripan? Choripan. I think it's Choripan's the third. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Crowd pleasers. Yeah, the steak pie, it went absolutely mental. I don't know if it got published on some big site somewhere, but I didn't follow it. All I did was look at it and went, wow, blimey, how many hits, and it had ridiculous amount of hits. I don't know where I can probably find the. I can probably find. Oh no. I don't want to tip this up. Yeah. Yeah. Good pies and good hot pepper sauce. The secret is to get. You follow the traditional recipe from the place it come from, but you use the best ingredients you've got in your country. So, for instance, when I make a hot pepper sauce, I'll get the best hot peppers I can lay my hands on, and then I will use really good quality British apple cider vinegar with it, that sort of thing, So, and maybe just give it a little bit of what we do well, like where I grow, rosemary grows in profusion. I don't know what it is about sandy soil, but rosemary seems to love it. So all around here, rosemary grows like mad. So it features a lot in. Yeah, you got to put your love into it. It's the love on the part of the grower and the love on the part of the cook that turn the ordinary into the sublime. And that's true. Good food and good company are the keys to happiness. We have, as a species, we've sat around fires for hundreds of thousands. Well, fire 400,000 years. Long timer. So we've sat around fires entertaining ourselves and eating and enjoying food. It's so essential to what we are. It's why the TV's so, because the TV's kind of replaced the hearth as the source of light and entertainment. So if you think of it in terms of psychology, you'll get pretty close to where my food philosophy comes from. It comes from that. It's what we are. This is why food and culture, go so hand in hand. You can keep your own culture, yet still be diverse, and you're not stealing other people's culture by you're celebrating their culture by enjoying their food. You know what I mean? So it's like there's people that will try and turn it into an us and them sort of thing, or to try and make it a deal about race or a deal about religion or something. And these are people that just seek to divide us. What we're trying to do with what we do, guys, is we bring people together. We bring them together with food and common love. See it, innit? That's the way I see it. Anyway, boys, on that rather nice note, I think we'd better call it a night. All right, boys. Yeah. And thanks for coming along. Really appreciate you coming along. Yeah, it is. Thanks, Colin. Night, guys.